events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
All right, we're on Mornings with Lone Star here on Lone Star Community Radio. It's 9:10 in the morning. Running a little late because I was talking to my special guest. We're having a good time right now. And if you are listening on our stream or FM 104.5, 106.1, we're broadcasting live on Facebook and, of course, YouTube for Mornings with Lone Star Community Radio. In the studio, we have a game changer. That's right. We have a game changer. I love it. We have Jeff Newkirk in the studio. He is a podcast host and I guess
business consultant, executive coach, podcaster.
Yeah. See, us podcasters.
All the above. Yep.
Us podcasters have like an underground network. That's how I ran into you. Mm-hmm. It's through our mafia. And he's a capo. I'm not a capo yet. It's going to get there, but I'm happy to have you in here.
Great to be here. Thanks.
I will let the listeners know of the website to your Understandable Solutions and also Game Changers is in the description. So if people want to check it out, we can just say, hey, the website's right there in the description on YouTube, Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah, all the podcast episodes there's a link from the Understandable Solutions to Game Changers, and then all the episodes are on Game Changers. So yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at your website for Game Changers, and I realized you have one of those faces that looks so drastically different with a beard that I was like, he needs to change that picture because that does not look like him at all.
So that I heard that a couple weeks ago. I was giving a presentation, and somebody said, "Hey, this picture on your podcast, it's not even you."
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that is me.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get a new picture. I'm like, well, what's the deal? I mean, did I gain that much weight? What's the story? Like, well, that and the facial hair.
Yeah, no, you really do. You really do have one of those faces that you're like, wait a second. Either that picture on the website is so old that you look so young.
It's not that old.
Well, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's because some people have hair like that.
Yeah.
Where like
mine's all gray. That doesn't help.
Well, like I know, like if I get a haircut, people think I'm 20. Like if I get like a haircut like the Kennedy, that's usually what I usually get. You know, been getting the Kennedys since
Instead,
I was 4 years old.
25.
And they're like, okay, you look so much younger. But so if I have the longer hair, it's weird. You think longer hair would make you look younger, but if I have the longer hair, they're like, okay, so this guy's just a hobo. So it's not a kid, it's a hobo. So let me tell you, talk about business consulting. I think that's the first thing my dad always tells me every time I see him.
What's that?
Because he's a business consultant kind of guy.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, you just need to get a haircut, you'll be fine. Every time I see him,
Dad, it's not the hair, man.
Without fail, you need to shave, cut the hair. Everyone will talk to you after that.
Oh, but if my dad were still alive, he'd be after me with my facial hair.
Yeah,
he'd be like, you can't have that. Can't have that. It's so inappropriate.
And that's what I love about that kind of mentality, because that is I wouldn't call it the old school mentality, but what I love about it is you look at the most famous rich people today, because there's still rich people out there that are not famous, and they probably look like real big squares.
Right.
But like the rich famous people, my favorite is the guy who used to own Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Jack Dorsey, I think?
Yes. Yeah, right.
But he had this like a beard that I wouldn't grow.
Oh, it was crazy.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, because some people can grow a beard.
Man, that
some people can grow it. But some people can grow a beard.
Yeah, right.
And some people like me, like if I grow this out any further, it'll look like all patchy.
Oh.
And so I'm like, I'm never going to get to that length ever. No. Like I'm never going to allow it. But see, he allowed it. Yeah. And so when you see him, I'm like, I see what my dad's saying. That's kind of crazy. But then again, this guy's a billionaire.
Just trim it up, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He looks.
But yeah, he could do whatever, right? He's multi-billions.
Isn't that funny though? Like just because you have money, people are like, yeah, you can do whatever.
Money talks, I guess.
Kind of like Jerry Seinfeld dating that 17-year-old.
What?
You don't remember that story back in the Seinfeld days?
Well, I watch Seinfeld all the time, but
yeah, that was like
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld dated like a high schooler. Like I think she was either graduating high school or she just graduated high school, like within the year.
Oh, wow, no, I don't remember that.
I gotta look it up now. Now you're making me think.
But that was a great show.
Oh yeah, no, that's what. Because again, it's like if you're famous, are you allowed to do certain stuff?
Yeah,
All right, I'm looking it up. Make sure. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Yeah. So she was 17 years old. Yeah.
And how old was he at the time?
He was 38.
That is not just borderline wrong.
I think it's
that's
great.
wrong.
I think you should go for it. Change the world. With your new idea, it's Cherry.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's, I don't know, man. That's kind of past pushing the envelope.
Is it? Let's get into. Let's deep dive into. Let's deep dive into this.
17,
Well,
that's 21
well,
years.
I always, because
If my daughter came home with a
I get.
38-year-old,
No, that's different because you're the dad. See what? It's
well,
funny.
First of all, I don't like any boyfriend.
Well, it's just what I'm saying.
I don't
You're
care
the-
their age.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like you're the dad, so it doesn't matter. What I love is recently I'm single, and someone mentions like, "Oh, you want to go to the high school and pick up some like what was that line from Matthew McConaughey's? The girls stay the same age as I get older or whatever. That's the
I
great
don't
thing about high
remember,
school.
but yeah,
You know what I'm
okay.
talking about?
Yes,
And I was laughing. I go,
He's always got a good line.
I think it's a great thing about high school girls is they keep staying the same age, but as I get older or something like that, something like that on the lines. But you made that joke, and I was laughing because I go, what's weird is at one point in society that was acceptable,
No.
and I was like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But but I was thinking to myself, I was like, what is high school even like today?
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't have any connection to children, so I have no idea. Because the last thing I heard about school was they changed the way they teach math. So
Yes,
and they don't teach
yes.
cursive, so it's like it'd be a whole new language I'm
Well,
learning.
that too, but yeah. So my kids are older. They're out of high school. I've got one out of college, and yeah, I think it's changed since they've been in high school. So I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have kids in high school or grade school.
Well, I always felt that we should do that whole conscription thing. You
The whole
know
what?
like when you have kids, just send them into the army, and then like that's their education. And when they hit 18,
Okay.
they're out of the army,
And they're good to go.
and then they can go to like a specialized school.
And you don't have any kids, right?
Not yet. I want to,
Okay. All right. Well, when you do, you might
I'm
wanna-
kidding. Because so many people don't know what to do. It's like, oh, we'll give you something to do.
It's a whole new ball game when you become a dad.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. And I mean, it's
Totally.
something, especially growing up today, I can't imagine what new challenges they would face, and then how me as a dad will manipulate them into believing something that.
I mean,
Because it's always like, oh, the economy, oh, the job market, oh, the banking, oh, the ozone layer, or like, it's always something,
always.
and
Always.
it's kind of weird to me.
But as a dad, you're always so protective. And, I have 21-year-old twin girls, or identical twins. And one of them wanted to go over to, I don't know, grocery stores, like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. She's
Yeah.
like, Dad, I mean,
I'm packing.
well, I had one of the twins likes to kind of fly under the radar, but the other one, she'll mix it up. She'll get right up,
She's got
right up in your face.
She's got pepper spray
Oh,
and
she's-
the nightstick.
She's
and-
all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
You want to mess with me? Let's go.
Yeah. I like that.
But as
brass
a father, you're like-
brass knuckles would be great. I would love to see
Might
that.
have them. I don't know. But as a father, you want to protect them, right? You want to keep them in that bubble. And yes, they have to go out and they have to go to the grocery store once in a while. But it's like there's a lot of crazy people out there, right? I mean, you want to protect them.
Can I tell you something crazy? I got bamboozled. Like I don't know how to call it. So I closed the bowling alley
Okay.
a couple nights a week
Okay.
at 300 bowl, and I'm sitting there at the front, and this guy comes in, and he's wearing one of those COVID masks, or like people wear masks during COVID.
Right. But this was like a whole scarf kind of thing.
Yeah, it
That
was-
surrounded his whole head.
Yeah, it's almost like what a construction worker would wear.
Right. Yeah.
And he comes
Oh,
in.
you can only see his eyes.
Yes.
Yep,
So he comes
gotcha.
in and he goes, hey, I'm meeting my sister here. It's her birthday, and do you have any lanes available? And I'm like, well, yeah, we close at this time. But he's like, can I get change for 100? And I
Just
go,
out of nowhere.
yeah,
Any lanes open, change for 100.
change for 100. And he's like, can I just get some 20s? And I was like, sure. And I'm doing it. Give him the 20s. He's like, well, actually, hold on. Let me have that 100 back. Here's the 20s. Can I get like 4 5s? X amount of ones. And then they're like,
All right. At what point did you say to yourself,
something's up?
so yeah, right.
Well, I thought something was up with $100. But next thing I know, and this is how good he was, somehow we exchanged hands like 7 times.
Because you're trading the $100 back and forth?
Back and forth. And he's trying to figure it out. And then he goes, hey, I'm going to go have a cigarette. And he leaves. And I sit there and I go, something just happened. And I look down and the $100 is gone. And somehow.
And the 20s?
And the 20s. So he got $100 off me. And I was like, I literally, it was so funny.
Wait, sir, you don't want a bowl after all?
And I would have immediately, and somebody who's watching, one of my friends who manages snack bar, manages a lot of other areas.
Yeah.
She goes, something just happened, didn't it? And I go, yeah, pretty sure that guy just took $100, like just took it, like not accidentally, like took it.
Yeah.
And so I ran outside. He's gone. He
did run outside.
Oh yeah,
Good for you.
I immediately realized it within because it was a funny feeling, like I got fleeced, and I was like, something happened.
You did.
No, and then what I love is I went on the we talked to the guy who runs the camera. I was like, we need to watch me. I go, y'all want to? He was laughing. He's like, watch Richard get fleeced, and then you see it. You see my confused. I'm like, whoa. And then I just run outside, and then they had blackout plates and everything. They were professionals. So
What?
yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, man, he probably could have got a lot more than $100 from me because I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
And he was a smooth talker. He was doing it, and he even had the extra 100 in his hand to make it look like he had another 100.
No kidding. So he was just going to the next restaurant, bar, bowling alley.
Apparently, that's the thing.
Wow.
So watch out there.
Yeah. If somebody asks you for change for 100, say no.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to be like, I'll give you change, but I have to go do it in the back.
I only do Venmo.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that? Is like when businesses only accept credit cards.
Well, from a business perspective, if you only accept credit cards, you got the somewhere between 2 and 3% fee that you're paying.
Yeah, but I think that's just like business as usual today. It's accepted.
Yeah, well, that and it's. I guess I hardly even carry cash anymore.
Yeah,
It's
that's
sort of
usually
just
what
a
all I
norm.
use.
And I think that really happened with COVID. Nobody was taking cash, and if you think about it, it's probably not that bad. You ever looked at how dirty money is? Pretty
I don't
nasty.
really. I'm a dirty guy, so I'm okay with it. So it's like to me, I'm like cool.
I never really thought of it until somebody pointed out, like, how many hands touch that dollar bill? Like,
How many hands touch that doorknob?
yeah, and it's
Like,
so
get
when you
over it,
start
dude.
yeah.
Get over it. And now, what I love is people.
I know
talk,
it sounds like I'm a germaphobe.
no,
I'm
and
not,
that it's like
but-
what's even worse is you're touching your car,
Oh.
and your car's driving through how much stuff and dirt and grime.
when you fill up your tank with gas.
No, I'm just talking about the drive.
Or-
Like you driving over here.
Right.
How much stuff has touched your car?
Yeah, true.
Like,
But the inside of my car is perfectly
yeah,
clean.
but you got to open it. So it's like it's not gonna.
Right,
That's what I love
right.
about people who are like, oh, I'm really germaphobe. Like I like the doors that have the thing on the bottom so I can open it with my foot. I'm like, yeah, but you're still gonna touch.
No, that doesn't work.
Well, but I'm talking. But people are like that though.
Yeah, I know. But
I'm
when
like,
I see
that,
it's like, come on.
Like I get that the bathroom is a very dirty place compared to like the hallway,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, you're still touching a lot of things. And
Well, but all right, last night we were out for dinner. Guy went into the restroom, and he just walked out. He didn't wash his hands. And we're like in a restaurant. And I was like, dude, it's kind of gross, right? You gotta wash your hands, man.
yeah,
I don't care if you got the foot pedal on the door or not.
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, it depends if you're a guy. Because I've seen guys they're magicians. You don't have to touch anything. You just go.
I still think.
So I think it's kind of
it's kind of
weird.
Wash your hands.
I wonder what I mean, no matter what you touch, it's gonna be dirty.
Yeah, that's true. Germs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to get over it.
So that's why.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Just get rid of your hands.
Yeah. So you don't have the little antiseptic or whatever on
On
your
my belt. Yeah. No, I've I wash my hands every day before I eat.
At least once a day?
Well, I try to wash it before I eat, and then before I brush my
Good call.
teeth, and before I use after I use the restroom,
Perfect. Good.
and sometimes before I use the restroom.
That's also good.
So,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the rule of thumb. Like
I think that's a
like
good
if I use
rule.
my teeth, brush your teeth.
Good rule. And brush your teeth at least twice a day.
Well, after I eat.
Okay.
My aunt's a dentist,
Oh, okay.
so that was always
So-
it's amazing.
So you have to floss too.
You do more than that. It's weird.
Really?
She's obsessed.
Well, what's more than flossing?
Go get your checkup every 6 months, and
Okay.
then all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. hmm That's good. That means you have healthy teeth. You'll live forever.
Well, that's why I dip, because I have to balance it out.
Wait a minute.
So
What?
you got to balance out the good and the bad. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. All right.
But you were talking about your twin daughters, and
Yeah.
they go to the grocery store, and now it's
Yeah.
8 p.m.
8
and
p.m. Yeah, it's getting dark. Yeah.
and you didn't like that as a dad.
No. Now, I said, okay, go ahead. Just be careful. But yeah, no, I didn't like it. There's a balance between giving them freedom, and
Well, they're 21.
I know, exactly.
Well, that's weird. 'Cause
And that's like she said to me, as Emma, she's like, Dad, come on. And they're going to be 22 next month. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, old enough, right? Dad's
well, I
just
don't
being
know.
too
20.
protective.
I would say I still haven't grown up.
Well, I
So-
think in some ways that's good. I'd like to think I haven't grown up either. You look at me, I'm way over the hill. I'm on the other side of the hill, maybe.
Maybe we don't really know, right? It changes like every year.
Well, you're only as old as you feel, but I'll always be protective of my kids, and just part of being a dad.
Well, I mean, I can't say I have kids,
Well, when you do,
so
you will. You'll be protective.
yeah. Yeah, what I love is I have family of five. I have 5 brothers and sisters, and we always gave my
Big
parents.
family.
Yeah, I always give my parents. We always give our parents a hard time. It's like, which one do you love more? Because there's like it's one thing to have 2, like choose between 2.
Yeah.
But when you have to choose between 6, it's
That's
like
a lot.
It's like you're gonna have someone's on the bottom of the totem pole.
Right. Well, there's somebody always going to be acting out. You got 6.
Yeah.
So was there always somebody that was the perfectly behaved one, and there was always a troublemaker?
It was me.
You were the perfectly behaved one? No way.
Well, I was the last one.
You're the youngest?
I'm the
of
youngest
6?
of 6.
Oh,
So I was always the baby, always.
Were you spoiled?
Oh yeah. And not
At least
like
you recognize it.
well, not like financially. It was more of like I could get away with it whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Not saying I did whatever I wanted, but I also learned so much from my older brothers and sisters, like not to do certain stuff
Yeah.
and what you could get away with. And then,
So by the time you came along, it was perfected.
Yeah,
You
pretty
you knew
much.
exactly what to do and what not to do.
yeah,
Wow. Busy household, 6 kids.
yeah,
Was there
It
a
was fun.
big age difference?
yeah. I think my oldest brother, I want to say he's 52, 53.
You don't know?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm really bad with dates. Like I get my birthday. I get my birthday right most of the time because
Most of the time?
because like my brother's June 1st.
Okay.
I'm June 5th. My dad's June 26th. My cousin's like June 12th, and then there's like an aunt or something that's on June 2nd. And
June
so
is a big month. for
So
your
it's just
family.
all. Well, I have like 40 something cousins, and we have we're not Mormon, which is weird. One of my cousins had 9 kids.
No judgment here.
One of my cousins had 9 kids.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. Like when they show up to the family gatherings, it's
How?
like they're
In a bus?
no, it's like the presidential escort because there's like so many cars. It's like the black vans, and it's just like, what is happening here? But yeah, no, I know it's weird, and I think I'm the only one that doesn't have kids. Now that I think about it, I think out of all these people.
Well, I'm sure that will change.
Well, I always told my mom, I was like, you already have 16 nieces or 16 grandchildren. Like, you don't need any more. Like, it's not that, like, there's not a lot
But
of pressure.
that's not how you you're
Well,
supposed
I'm
to
just
look
saying.
at it. But
Well, because mom and dad are always applying pressure. I'm like, you're good. Like, you don't need to put pressure on me. You're good.
everything in time, right?
Well, yeah. I go, oh, it's an odds game. So it's like you got 16. There's going to be a good one in there. We don't. I mean, we can't increase the odds. I mean,
Well, it's like the six, right? I mean, there's one that was perfectly behaved and one that was not.
yeah.
So did you have a brother or sister that was kind of the troublemaker?
Oh yeah. No, I don't think anyone went to prison.
Well, I didn't even mean to that extent.
I don't think. I think one of us went to jail for something. But
So one of you went to jail for something, but you don't know what.
I don't know. I mean, well, when I say jail, I mean like one day.
It's still jail.
Still jail.
That counts.
Maybe. I don't know. I never really asked, but I can see that being like, because some family people like don't talk about like certain things that happen in the family.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like I knew a person, like, this is like a true story.
Uncle Joey went to jail.
Well, not even that. There was like, I went to a family thing with a friend of a friend. So it was like, I didn't really know the family. Mm-hmm. Well, then it was explained to me that one of the aunts messed around with one of her daughter's friends in high school.
What?
So she went to jail. Yeah.
Wow.
And they were explaining this to me because I was like, what's going on? Like, something's going on here. And she's like, oh, she just got out like a year ago. So the family's still kind of like accommodating. So I was like,
Wow.
It was like really wild to me. I was like, I can't believe y'all just openly told me that, but I like it. Because, some people do not talk about certain things.
Oh, well, that would be something that you probably not talk about.
Yeah. Because I could sense it, and I was like, this feels really
That's
weird.
different than like, embezzling or mail fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Or
But isn't that fantastic in a way that like things like that do exist? This isn't just like a CBS drama show that they just write this ridiculous stuff, and it's like, no, like
it's real.
This stuff really happens.
It really happens.
So it makes it more humanized to me. Because after I'd learned that,
Yeah.
I knew how to treat the room, and I was like, now I understand what's happening, and everyone's going through something.
That's true.
And
And if you think about it, everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something.
And I think that's what pisses me off a lot of time when I'm talking to people and the emotion roller coaster that happens.
Yeah.
You're like, what just happened? Where are you coming from?
Right.
Your dad died? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. One time when I was younger, we're trying to meet girls, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And these girls and one of these guys were talking in the corner at a party, and I was like, I go over there and start talking to them. I'm like, yeah, cool. And then they were all talking about how they all had this thing in common, and it was they had a dead girlfriend or boyfriend that died.
They had what?
This is what they were talking about.
Oh my goodness.
Their girlfriend or boyfriend had they previously had one that passed away.
Right.
And we're talking, and I just made an offhand joke, and I was like, well, I guess I got to go. I don't have a dead girlfriend or boyfriend to talk about.
Oh boy.
And I was just like, I didn't even think about it. And then the next thing I know, the dude wanted to fight me. The girls were crying. And I was like, y'all are the ones that came to a party to talk about your deceased girl. And we're like 20, 21.
Didn't that strike you though as sort of unusual that there were that many deceased 20?
That's what I'm talking about.
That was kinda, that's
because when I went over there, I was like, what are y'all talking about? And they're like, oh, I'm talking about Susie. Susie was my girlfriend and when I was 16. And, I was like, it was tragic stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like,
very sad.
But I'm like, wait, is this like a group meeting or something?
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, it's always fun to go into a conversation, not know where it's going. And then,
So did you end up fighting the guy?
well, no, luckily for me, all my friends are football players and they just
good.
threw him out.
Good.
And then, the girls cried and we tried to
Did you say you were sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I was like, hey, I wasn't trying to be offensive. Like, sorry that happened, but it's like,
Good. I was sort of afraid that you just sort of laughed and then walked away, but no, you were apologetic and good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
and to me, it's an offhanded comment. I probably, I like saying those kind of jokes because it's like, there's a time and place for both of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it was, to me, I still laugh about it because I was like, can you imagine walking up and that's what people are talking about at like a party? And it's like, this is weird. This is going to get weird. And
That would be very uncomfortable and awkward,
yeah.
for sure.
And that's why I was like, well, I'm going to leave because I don't have anyone that's dead.
So yay me.
Yeah. So are you married?
34 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And you only have 2 kids?
3.
3?
Yeah, so we have a son. He's going to be 24 next month. So his birthday, kind of interesting. His birthday is July 8th.
Okay.
And then his identical twin sisters will turn 22 on July 7th. So we have 3 birthdays in a matter of 2 days.
Now, as a parent, do y'all just combine them?
No.
Because
No. I mean, it depends. We never wanted to feel like one of the kids were slighted. You know, like
especially with the twins.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Which one would you like more?
Oh man, it depends on how they're behaving.
I would do it on a game of competition, like who's the better shooter.
But they are extremely competitive with each other. I mean, they will to this day.
My best friends are twins, and it's hilarious.
Oh, they're just like start doing stuff to each other that I don't even get.
And these guys were boys too. What I love is they would fight so much. It took me a little bit to get used to like just letting them fight.
You just gotta let it go.
Yeah, and I'm like, because we'll be in the car, and I'll be driving. They just start hitting each other, and I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on driving.
Yeah,
like, just let them hit each other.
And you know, when the girls were younger, I'd be like, no, you guys got to get along. Yeah. Now it's just, you know, all right, you want to beat each other up, go for it. Yeah. I mean, and they're going to be 22. I think they're going to be like that when they're 40. You know, they're just going to do stuff to each other to antagonize them, and then they're going to duke it out.
That's
and then
hilarious.
somewhere along the way, their brother gets involved, and so total chaos.
All right, yeah, okay.
But it's good. They're great kids. We're very lucky. Yeah. So our son is in Cincinnati, and the girls, one's home for the summer, and one's stayed up in Fort Worth. They go to TCU.
Oh, cool, TCU.
Yeah. You know, TCU is the only school or Division I NCAA school that had a football team go to the national championship, basketball
and get
team
rocked.
Yes, they did, but
rocked.
still they got there.
Get rocked.
Look at the big picture, man. They still got there, okay?
Oh, no.
Yes, it was. The game was over in the first 2 minutes.
So I went to ACU, and I was in Abilene, and my brother went to A&M. My another brother went to TCU, so I know I'm familiar with TCU. My sister went to TCU too. Okay. But A&M's playing ACU this year.
Oh my God!
And I'm like,
that's got to be one of the first games.
No, it's like November 18th.
Late in the season?
Yeah, and I texted my brother. I was like, "You ready for A&M to lose?"
Wow, would that be something?
Oh no! Well, ACU beat Texas in basketball a couple of years ago. So I was like, I don't know, a lot of my family members went to Texas. I was talking so much trash when that happened. When ACU beat Texas, I was like, "Can you believe that little college town, Abilene?" But
yeah,
one thing I was surprised about Abilene is they produce football players.
The entire state of Texas produces football players.
True. I was just well, no, it weirded me out when I first went to school there was when there's 2 high schools there.
Okay.
When they would play each other, that was a bigger event than any college football game.
Bet. Yeah.
And I was like, you go to the Starbucks, you go to like any local place, they either got gold or black.
Right.
And I was just like,
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, and I was like, this is really weird.
And the stadium probably
it was nuts.
10,000 people.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, the stadiums, the high school stadiums in Texas, unbelievable. Yeah. They all seat 10, 15,000, millions of dollars. It's pretty awesome, really.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy a little bit because like some of the towns that have them are so small.
But they have these huge stadiums.
They have these huge stadiums. So you're like, what do they do there besides football?
Yeah. Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's actually talk about with the podcast you have because people are like
game changers.
People are like, what the hell? Where are they going with this?
Yeah.
Jeff has Game Changers podcast. I put a link to it. And you interview, it's about 45-minute podcasts.
Yeah.
Around that area. And you interview, I would say, leaders or literal game changers.
Absolutely. So
like Jerry Seinfeld dating a 17-year-old. Would that be? Would you interview him about that? He's changing the game. He's making a stigma a norm.
Man, I really don't know what to say about that, but quick answer is I would love to talk to Jerry Seinfeld. probably wouldn't ask him about his girlfriend at the time was 17, but
I would ask. I'm like, you trying to? Were you really trying to get away with it? Like,
what were you thinking?
like what was it? What was going?
How did
through
that
your-
even happen? Like, how does that even happen?
I mean, they met in a public park. That's even
Okay,
creepier.
that's even
That's
weird.
even,
Yeah,
it's even weird.
That's just not good. That's not
according to Wikipedia, so you don't really know if that's
good.
true.
Still, man,
Well, game changer.
yeah, so the objective of the podcast is simple: inspire, educate, and I want people to go out and make a difference
When
in
you
what they hear.
when you say those things, you mean like in a general sense?
Yeah, I don't want. When I started my podcast, it was more focused on business, and you only have so many people that want to listen to business topics, right? So I wanted to reach more people, and I wanted to create that feeling of hey, we need to do something good in this world, and because there's not enough of that, I don't think.
I think there's too much of it.
Too much good in the world.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more.
Well, we live in the United States, so it's a good place.
It's an awesome place.
So we're good. We're settled.
Can't be complacent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's such a great time to be lazy.
You can't be lazy.
But it's such a great time to be.
No.
Like, you can get away with
No.
so much.
No, you're testing me over here. You can't be lazy. You can't be complacent. It's all about making a difference, man.
That's one thing I love about older, like as you get older, is the motivations people convince themselves of to work out, eat healthy, all this kind of stuff. And it's like at one point you just got to say you're gonna die, and then because everyone always puts up these walls where it's like, oh, I got to work out, I got to like. So are you doing this because there's something over the wall, meaning like you're doing this to enjoy something in the future? Because that's what everyone always talks about when they talk about saving money and stuff.
For the future.
For the future. And I'm thinking, like, and I talk to my dad about this all the time because he's a businessman, very successful. I come from like 3 generations of entrepreneurs.
So there you go.
But I'm thinking to myself, I go,
he knows about saving.
he knows about that stuff.
Future.
But see, I ask him, I go, so you're saving for the future, but are you saving for a future you want to live?
Yes.
Because it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm a billionaire or a millionaire and I can just spend money, or is it more of like, oh, I just want to be able to pay off everything and then not worry about that kind of stuff? Because when I think of saving for the future, I'm thinking I want a butler. That's what I'm thinking of. Like that's what my goal is. Like I want a butler. I want someone to open the car for me, and I don't have to drive anywhere. That'd be so cool.
So you want a driver too?
Yeah, like I want an Alfred. Like that would be the ultimate goal. Like that's the dream right there. I want an Alfred, and
What's my schedule today, Alfred?
Exactly. And I'm like, so that to me makes sense. Like that's what I'm working towards.
Okay.
But if it's like, but everyone always says, oh, I'm trying to, I'm just saving for the future. Like, what future do you want? Like, I don't really get it, because like you live in a house, right? Well, are you gonna live in that? Is that the future? You're gonna live in that house forever? Or I never fully understood when people say plan for the future, because
it depends on what they want their future to look like, right? I mean, not everybody wants a butler, but maybe
why wouldn't? Okay, you're trying to tell me you wouldn't want a butler?
I'm just saying not everybody does.
You think the culture shifted? It's demeaning now to have butlers?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that not everybody wants a butler.
I think deep down everyone wants a butler.
Everybody wants an Alfred?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
maybe.
This is what I love. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I love listening to famous people casually talk about their lifestyles. They just slip in stuff.
Yeah.
And I listen to Smartless. And I don't know if it's a great podcast. I love it. And there's one of the guys keeps talking about how their chef keeps making them all this healthy food, but he said it so casually. I go, yeah, of course you're eating healthy.
Really?
You have a person who literally sits, their whole job is to feed you healthy food. Like, can you imagine having a home chef?
Now, I have to admit.
You have a home chef?
I don't.
Okay, I thought you were going to throw that. I'll be like,
no.
Why don't you bring
I
some
do,
food?
Yeah, I have a couple of them.
Why didn't you bring that?
But that would be cool. I would have the chef before butler.
But see, I
Because
think
I don't have to worry about cooking.
But see, if I met you and you had a home chef or you had a butler, I'd be like, this guy's a douche. Like, I would immediately think that. I'd be like, this guy doesn't even open the car door for himself.
Well, I mean, that's not my thing. I'd want to open my own car door, but
Okay.
some people.
I just like putting people down. Like I want to be like, yeah, you're below me.
Does that make you feel better?
Oh, I think it's a status thing.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of like when people are like, I don't touch things. You like feed me. I'll make
Feed me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, we got to spend some more time together.
I know. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't. Well, I keep.
You just know how to push my buttons.
Well,
over
I just
there.
love thinking about different people and the different lifestyles they have, and like when you listen to that Smart List thing, and the guy casually just talks about having this home chef guy. I'm like, does this guy not realize like not everyone has that? So when they're trying to,
so it's kind of hard to do everything that you got going on because you have a chef.
well, there is a learning experience with eating healthy and having these goals,
Yeah,
and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like,
and you have to acquire a taste for something that doesn't taste great.
well, I've had good healthy food.
Oh man, my girls eat healthy, and then they try to push the kale and the
Well, kale's not that bad, but you can make it good. You can add something to it.
like what?
Well, like my favorite go-to is so you can. Do you like protein at all, like chicken, beef, and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
So you choose your
Absolutely.
protein, whatever you was. I like doing chicken.
I can eat chicken all day long, but I'm not
So-
going to eat kale all day long.
So you do my go-to is you do the chicken,
Chicken.
and then you get your salad stuff, kale or carrots and cucumbers, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I get a hard-boiled egg,
Okay.
and I break out the hard-boiled egg, shake it,
Yeah.
and then I get habanero or wasabi almonds.
Okay.
Throw that in there, shake it up, and the spice from the almonds attaches to the egg. It makes like a dressing, so every leaf, everything is covered in a
So
bite.
you don't
of
actually
good.
taste the kale.
Well, I mean, you're still eating it. You
Yeah,
can still
you
taste
don't.
it, but it has a lot of flavor to it.
Will you drink a green smoothie?
What's in it?
Well, it's green, so
Is there like weed in it?
it might be weeds.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about weed.
I've
but weeds.
had the wheat shot before.
What's that?
Or like it's like when you go to those nutrition places and they give
Yeah.
you a shot of wheatgrass or something like that.
Oh, well.
I've done that, but I was like, is that really worth it? How many do I have to drink to really like pee normally,
Oh, man.
or whatever it is, whatever
It's
the goal
really
is?
hard for me to drink a green smoothie just because it's green.
Really?
Yeah. But I will say that one of my sponsors is Magic Mind, which is a green little drink that gives you focus and energy. And so I do drink that. It's called Magic Mind.
So it's like
Found
Adderall?
at magicmind.com.
Is it like Adderall or something?
No, it's just like all these herbs and make you energetic and focused. It actually tastes pretty good.
That doesn't worry you at all?
No.
Like,
No.
hey, this little bottle
Like
will
2
change
ounces.
will change your whole day.
It doesn't change your whole day, but it makes you.
That's like that 5-hour energy stuff scares me.
Well, I'm not pounding 5-hour energy. Yeah. There's a lot of caffeine, and who knows what's in the 5-hour energy.
Yeah, I feel like you're burning a hole somewhere in your body.
You probably are. If you have enough of that stuff, you probably are.
Something's shrinking.
But wait a minute. So you are not gonna take a 5-hour energy,
No, I said it just scares me.
but you dip.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll take the 5-hour energy because I know what it does.
Okay. Along
But-
with the dip, or what? You got chew in your mouth, and you're gonna do.
I don't know. I mean, it just
I mean, you'd be
really,
flying.
really, the chew it's like a after dinner special treat.
What?
That's the way I look at it. It's like, it'd be really good right now. Good dip.
A little thing of Copenhagen.
Yeah, just good.
between the cheek and
Just
gum.
good one. And it's it's just one of those calming moments.
Who was it that did the commercial? Just put a little piece between your cheek and gum. Who was that?
You're talking about like the 40s. I have no idea.
I
what
am
you're talking-
not. Oh my gosh! Wow.
But
Hurtful.
But no, I mean like the health stuff. Everyone has their own struggle with it and their
well,
own discipline. But I wish the world would just make food into a pill, and then we're good.
But then you wouldn't have the opportunity to have like the good things like ice cream.
Yeah, but everyone would lose weight, and everyone would be
From
a
just
little
a pill?
healthier. Well,
Yeah.
imagine a world where they did that. They synthesized a pill where it's like, this gives you everything you need.
No more restaurants.
Well, you can still go to a restaurant, because you still want to have that experience of eating something delicious. Because I like chewing on meat.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, I'm never not going to do that. But because I've done that where I'm even full, I'm like, I'm still got a little bit of steak left. I'm going to go for it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if everyone could take a pill, we wouldn't have all these weight problems.
True. It's true. Until you go to Golden Corral.
I didn't really like Golden Corral when
I don't either. No, but it's a
like even
huge
Luby's. I know it's like blasphemy, but like Luby's never really impressed me that much. Because like my grandmother would take me there all the time, and I'm like, after when I got to the age of like, I'm paying for my own stuff,
right?
I'm like, why do we go here?
Because the food is decent and the people there are awesome.
Let's just go to Chuck E. Cheese then.
Oh no, talk about germs.
Or Mr. Gaddy's.
Got me there.
You never been to Mr. Gaddy's? I want to say that's like a San Antonio thing, or there used to be in Houston, and I saw one the other day. Actually, I was driving to Bernie, and I was like, "There's a Mr. Gaddy's," because it's similar to Chuck E. Cheese's, where it was like a pizza place and you had games and all that stuff. But
that place. Have you been to Chuck E. Cheese?
Not in a long time.
Oh my goodness, I haven't been in a long time either. But we'd take our kids when they were little, and I just felt like I was just covered in germs head to toe. And I'm not a germaphobe, but
It sounds like you are.
I'm really not.
Which is ironic because you won't drink a green drink, which is probably like good for you to fight germs.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got my own issues.
Yeah, we all do. But so Game Changers, you interview people, all local people, all those people that you're interviewing?
I'll interview anybody. So
that's not good. You gotta
anybody
have some standards.
Wait, anybody who has a story to tell, who can inspire and help other people make a difference. So
and pays the $250 appearance fee.
No.
Yeah.
But I do. So I have a couple requirements. If somebody says, "Hey, I really want to be on your podcast," great. Let's talk. I want to learn a little bit more about them before we just start a conversation on the podcast. And I also want them to listen to it, because if they don't know what to expect, then they don't know what they're getting into. And sometimes people just want to be on a podcast.
Yeah, I think the direction, especially how available podcasts are, finding an audience is really difficult, because how long can people really listen? And then
so many out there.
Like what impact does it really have on people? You've
got to make it impactful within the first, within the first few minutes. Or
our show went off with a bang, because this has been 42 minutes.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Well,
and this is my morning show. We're supposed to
take conversation.
Take breaks or whatever, but we don't care. You're listening to Mornings at Lone Star on Lone Star Community Radio.
This has been great. It's been great to be here.
Oh, I love it. I love the studio. I love interviewing anybody. So if you want to be a guest, and I don't charge $250 to be on my show.
I don't either, by the way.
Oh, I know you don't. I'm just leading people. I don't. And I don't require you to have a PhD. Okay, it's like some other podcasts. Okay, and then so you're good to go. You can be anyone. You be a street rat. I don't care.
As long as you can what?
I don't know. Keep me entertained.
Okay, good enough.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Requirements are what you needed. You know what you need to do when you come in here. So entertain a little bit.
Okay, I got. let me cough this out real quick. I don't know what's going on. Like my sinuses, it's almost gotten to the point where I feel like it's permanent. Because I don't feel sick.
Too much Copenhagen.
No, I don't think there's no way. Then again, too many wheat shots. But but yeah, it's just like I feel bad in the morning, but not hot, like not sick. And then I'm like, where's this coming from?
Allergies?
Yeah, I guess. And it's annoying. I've never had this happen before. It's really annoying.
Oh, maybe it's just a phase.
But I want to talk about this. So Game Changers is a great idea, especially with the philosophy of, or the definition of what a game changer is.
Right.
So I'm going to throw a reversal to you.
Okay.
Let's talk about
I knew this was going to happen.
Let's talk about game changers that were horrible for the world.
Oh my goodness.
Let's do it. Who can you think of who changed the game, but for like the worst? Besides like Hitler, that's like an obvious one.
Oh yeah, well no, that's horrible. Well, I mean, when you said change the game for the worst, I mean, we were talking about Jerry Seinfeld dating a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
But
Not
see,
that it was a game changer.
See, what's weird about that is like
it's creepy.
That decision he made didn't really necessarily affect what he changed the game in.
No, but it's like
because she changed
like
the game
Woody
for
Allen.
sitcom.
Didn't Woody Allen date super young?
He dated his daughter, or he married his daughter.
That's just.
But like it was an adopted daughter, so it was okay.
No, my goodness.
But again, like that didn't change. He changed the game in the movie world, so that had nothing to do with his weirdo lifestyle.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
But like, you got like was this the Che guy from, is it not Cuba? I'm gonna blank. They make T-shirts of him. Che, help me out.
No, I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
I live a boring life. I don't get out much. I don't know who Che is. Is Che in
Hugo Chavez. No, like that guy.
You got Che from Hugo Chavez?
Well, there's a nickname. I forget what it is. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I'm gonna get. It's gonna come to me.
Okay.
They make a T-shirt of him, and he's wearing the beret, and he's like has a beard, and he's kind of a butthead. Killed a lot of people, but
no, that'd be bad. Yeah.
But he's the revolutionary. So
if you're gonna,
we're thinking of people. Come on, we gotta get somebody.
Well, if you're killing people, that's a bad thing.
Well, how about Oppenheimer? He changed the game, and he killed a bunch of people.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, he made the atom bomb.
That's man. We're going
like he's a game changer.
Well, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, and we're not. There's no bombs since like that.
You know what's so weird to me about that scenario is like, it gives you an insight of the real threat the world was facing.
Yeah.
When you have the smartest people understanding what they're doing.
They knew, yeah.
And then they went through with it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine being in that room when they were talking about it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
we're going to kill millions of people right now.
It's kind of like the founding fathers, because the founding fathers got together and they're like, "Hey, we need to do this," but they all knew they were going to die if they did this. It's like,
yeah,
if we make these rules, like we got to make them worth it.
Yes, stick forever.
Yeah, and then
yep,
most of those people who signed the Declaration of Independence,
yeah,
got nicked. They got clipped.
Not all of them.
Most of them did.
Thomas Jefferson?
No, he had connections. He slept around. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's why he did all that stuff. Like he became friends with Europeans and stuff. So he had a quick out. If it went south, he's like, I got France. I can go to France.
And he spent a lot of time in France.
I don't know. He slept around a lot.
Yeah, inappropriately.
It's good. He made connections. Come on, guys.
I guess it depends on
game
the
changer.
Well, I guess I do have some standards, with the guests. That kind of game changer, not gonna. Yeah, I would be struggling for a good conversation. Well, remember, it's about inspiring to make a difference.
Well, I always know, like in the business world, a lot of times, the people who do the thing that change the game see the world differently, and they see either
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, actually, I think Jeff Bezos, what he did was, he understood how the money, the way the money's working, because they still don't make profit. But he knows how to manipulate Wall Street. That's my theory. He figured it out where it had nothing to do with books. It was like, hey, I just need a product. I need a service, and whatever service that I land on, I can make it work because I know how to manipulate the market.
But being able to go online and order, I don't know, whatever you're.
Well, he started with books.
I know, but my point is, you can go online, order something, and get it delivered to your front door within 6 hours. That is crazy.
Yeah, and it's not profitable. So it's like, if that business existed 100 years ago, you wouldn't make it.
Well, we'd never be able to get it in 6 hours.
No, I don't think you could.
Really?
If you had a warehouse that's within 6 hours.
Yeah.
I think his issue is, or his thing, like, again, I think his thing, he understood how to borrow money, loan money, spend money.
Well, he definitely
and makes it
changed
work.
the game. He changed the game for sure.
Because it's like
A lot of people don't like him, and I don't know that I would either, but he's certainly made a difference.
I guess.
Oh, for sure. Now, we can debate whether it's a good difference or not, but he's definitely made a difference because he's made, other businesses sort of rise to that level.
No, I like it. I like how that it kind of shows you how technology is constantly changing in ways we never really expected.
Yep.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. A lot of stuff.
Oh, me too. I'm right there with you.
Did you see that thing that came out? Probably fake news, but about that guy who had a smart house.
No.
And he had a smart home, and
Yeah.
it was all through Amazon. And apparently,
Really?
a deliverer guy was delivering a package, and the
Yeah.
guy heard something from the Ring doorbell,
Yeah.
and then he thought it was inappropriate, so he reported it, and they locked down his house
Really?
because they thought that the delivery guy thought the Ring said something racist or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that.
And the guy gets an email his account's been locked, so he can't access any of his stuff.
Well,
I would love to interview Jeff Bezos just so I could talk to him about his girlfriend.
Okay.
Because to me, billionaire is like the Elon Musk is like the typical billionaire where, oh, you have 30 kids? That makes sense. You have
Does he?
he has 9 kids or 10 kids or something.
Elon Musk has.
But see, no one knows about it.
No, I didn't know.
He has 9 kids
I
from
didn't even know that
5
Jeff
baby
Bezos
mamas.
had a girlfriend. I knew he got divorced.
Yeah, he has some girlfriend that was like a weather girl.
Oh.
And I love how demeaning that sounds. Yeah, it's a weather girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because that always
meteorologist.
Yeah, see that always interests me in the sense of you're this guy, you have or woman, you're filthy rich, and then it's like, all right, so why would I ever want to date anybody?
That's just human nature.
You have money, you're just like whatever.
No, you've got
I don't want
to
a ball.
share
I don't
that
want
with
a ball and
somebody.
chain. I don't want that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want that.
There you go, pushing my buttons again.
But no, I would interview
There's
about
so much
that
more to life.
because I'm thinking to myself, it's like eventually at one point when you're that rich, you don't really care about the dollars. You care about the gold bars. That's what you really care about.
Worried about giving your money away.
I mean, if you want to, it's your money. But what I'm getting to is when he realized, oh, I'm getting a divorce from this lady.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you think he even cared? He's like, all right, take half, whatever. I'm going to go get this weather meteorologist lady.
I don't know. I mean, I would like to think.
Because that tells you something a lot about the guy.
Well,
Because I bet she hates the dude, the ex-wife or whatever. Because, I mean, when someone goes off and does
imagine. That's pretty
you're kind of like,
bad.
that's
It's bad.
nah. Because no one talks about her new boyfriend. Because it's
she
probably
have-
someone
does she have
normal. I don't know.
I don't even know. I just know that he was divorced. I don't know.
Well, what I'm trying to get to is I love how rich people, like the rich person,
Yeah.
always goes off and gets the next best thing.
Yeah, I know.
And-
I know where you're going with this, and I'm trying to really.
Well, game changer. He's a game changer.
Maybe that's the wrong game.
I don't know, but I always laugh about that because it's always like the ex-wife gets some boring teacher or something, but she's probably 100% happier.
Oh,
than,
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Bezos. I wonder what guys like to live with. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I mean, when you're that wealthy, who knows? He's unique for sure.
Yeah,
right?
I guess. I
Gotta
don't know.
be,
I mean, it's just so weird to me. That whole world's so weird to me.
I'll never be able to experience it or wrap my head around it.
I mean, I'll probably
I don't think I'd ever want to, really.
I'll probably one day. I'll probably will.
Do you think Jeff Bezos has a butler?
No, I'm a game changer. Do I think I bet Jeff Bezos has an all-in-one Swiss Army knife guy. He's the bodyguard. He's the chef.
Yeah.
He
probably does have very high level security. Not just a bodyguard, but several.
See, that's a lifestyle that would be interesting to follow around. It's like, yeah, I get followed by 6 dudes everywhere I go.
That would be really uncomfortable.
That'd be really cool. Because we could do like pickup game basketball all the time. Like,
Okay. That's one way to look at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only bad thing is you guaranteed to pay gratuity every restaurant you go to. Like, you have to pay it.
Of course.
So, or whatever that's called when you have more than 6 people.
Gratuity.
Well, I know, but it's like required. Some
Yeah.
restaurants have that.
Where
It's
they
like,
just have the odd. It's the 15% or whatever is just automatically added.
yeah.
Yeah, because people don't tip. Some people don't.
You don't have to.
You should.
You don't have to, though.
Man,
You should do a lot of things,
right.
but they don't. We don't. So,
But that's true, but we should. We should.
nah,
We
whatever.
got to set the example. We got to do the right thing. Absolutely.
Tipping's weird to me
Why?
because there's not
Are
a
you a big tipper?
yeah, but there's not a set standard.
Right.
So, and I think that's what bothers me a lot about it.
But if somebody does a good job, don't you want to give them just
Yeah, but I don't
reward?
think we have the whole scope of the tipping world. Meaning, like,
You're thinking way too deep, man.
well, no, because it's the expectation, right? It's like, all right, we went to a restaurant, the server serves me, we had a great service, but if I tip this guy, does that go to the chef? Does that go? Because
I ask.
well, but I'm not going to ask every single time.
Why not?
I'm saying they need to have a standard where it's like, hey, we're XY restaurant. This is how we do our service. And then what really bothers me is little things like when you go to Sonic and they want you to tip,
Oh,
and you're like, okay, well, I get, like, because I get it's a service,
right.
but it's like,
Yeah.
because I worked at Sonic,
Okay.
and I always got pissed because the car hops would get tipped.
Oh,
and
really?
And we wouldn't get tipped.
Oh.
And I'm like, I made that drink. I made that shake, and I prepped
Yeah.
the
So
meal.
you didn't get any part of the tip?
No. And I told the manager, I remember having this conversation where I was like, that seems really unfair. And he's like, well, that's how we keep car hops. I was like, well, I want to be a car hop then. And he's like, oh, no, only females can be car hops.
Okay.
And then I told my dad about that. And my dad went out there one time because that's how I got the job. He went to Sonic all the time. And I remember him saying, so he was like, hey, my son said you only give women car hop jobs. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you can't do that, right? Like, legally, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And he's like, let my son car hop. And he
And so did you car hop?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
And then, yeah.
Make more money?
Unfortunately, no. Because no one tips a dude.
Oh, my goodness. But if the service is good, you got to.
They don't care. They don't come to the car hop. They have rollerblades. I mean, come on.
Really?
Ponytails and rollerblades get you all the tips. That's Sonic.
I have to confess, again, boring life over here. I don't think I've been to Sonic.
Well, I mean, it's just a place. It's interesting. But, like, again, the tipping standard, it's weird. So, like, if you get food to go, do you tip this 15%? Because to me, the 15-20% includes the service. But they weren't
does.
really servicing me because they
Well,
weren't refilling the drinks. They weren't asking me how my...
The service was very different.
Yeah, but does it still cost the same as 20%?
Maybe not.
And I even had this argument with a bartender friend of mine because when you go to the bar and you order a drink, usually it's $1 tip. It's
It
not.
is?
Well, that's what like my go-to thing is. It's like I'll tip you $1 if you give me a bottle of beer.
Okay. $1?
$1. So if the beer's $4, $5 for the beer.
Okay.
Okay. And then it's like, but then if you make like a cocktail,
Tough customer.
you know how hard it is to open a bottle of beer?
I'm just saying.
You know how hard that is?
But there's a lot of people that, don't tip anything. So, maybe $2 once in a while.
For opening a bottle of beer?
Yeah.
No way. No way.
There's some people out there working hard, trying to make ends meet. Give them another $1.
Well, what happens if I'm drinking like 10 beers in an hour? You just made $10
okay,
off
First
me.
of all, that's another conversation. But second, so that's $2.
Well, no, but see, this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. It's like I order a beer, $1, right?
Yep.
But if I order like 6 beers,
Yeah.
is it $6 or do I do it based
No,
off?
it's 12.
Well, that's what. No, I'm talking about. I give him $6 for 6 beers
Okay.
for a tip.
And I'm saying no.
You're saying 12, but
tip
then I
more.
go. But is it based off the tab itself? When does it become based off the tab? Because like
Well,
if I order like, say I order 10 drinks, all $15 each.
Right. Okay.
So by my philosophy, I just give them $10.
Oh my goodness.
But I understand there's
and the
a
next
line.
thing you know, your drinks are going to be really bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's yeah, but there's a line where it's like, oh, I spent $150 on drinks. I probably should tip based off of
$150.
$150.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
there's not a standard.
And
It's kind of like
we
how
got-
much. Basically, what it is, folks. You just give up whatever money you're willing to give up. That's what you should tip them. Like how much?
No,
I got
no,
$100. Here's
no.
$100 for a cheeseburger.
No, you need to look at the entire bill and tip appropriately. If I tip less than 20%, then it's bad service.
Yeah.
I always like to tip. I'm a big tipper because they work hard. I want to make sure that they're rewarded. You're looking at me like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe I am.
Whatever.
And I'm sticking to it. Big tipper.
There's a guy I always tipped with $2 bills. I always loved that.
$2 bills?
Yeah, that's all he tipped
Can you
in.
even find those anymore?
He literally goes to the bank and gets some crisp.
They have them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that. I was like, that's kind of unique a little bit.
I don't think I've seen a $2 bill in a long time.
Well, it's because you don't get out much, it sounds like.
I don't. Yeah, my boring life.
You just go in this hole to do this game changer podcast.
I like it. It's fun.
Well, tell me about this. Tell me the local game changers.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about some people around here, because that's where you live in this area.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
who's changing the game here?
Oh, gosh. So many.
I would say about 50-50 chance if you meet a game changer here, they're probably stealing money.
No way.
That's what I think. Like, oh, I'm in the Woodlands Township, and I'm changing the game. Like, yeah, he's probably stealing money.
Oh, there's so many game changers around here. First one that comes to mind, Jeff Shalansky, Fob Razor, right here in Conroe.
Fob Razor?
Forward Operating Base stands for Forward Operating Base. He's a veteran, and Fob Razor is an organization set up to help veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD.
Okay.
He's making big changes.
So has a
He and his
nonprofit?
wife, Carrie.
Has a nonprofit?
It's a nonprofit, yeah.
And what's it called?
Fob Razor. And Razor is his best friend's, or was his best friend's last name,
Okay.
who committed suicide.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was, 22 a day. 22 veterans a day commit suicide.
Something's going on.
That's horrible. So he's making a big difference.
See, I like this idea of the game changers. I don't think he's stealing money.
He is definitely not
Yeah.
stealing no money.
But people in the Woodlands Township are definitely stealing money.
Think so?
Yeah, there's always something going on there. I mean, I went to the Woodlands Pavilion, and I went to go see Dave Matthews. Everything was expensive. And I was like, isn't this a nonprofit? And I get everything's expensive these days, but it's like everyone here is having at least one beer, and the beers are $20. And there's at
Did
least...
you get an extra large size?
Well, they only have one size.
Oh, they do? Okay.
A can-wise.
Okay.
So you have to spend
I'm going to have to go
$17.50.
sometime.
No, it's crazy. And I'm like, they're making hundreds of $1,000s tonight. And nonprofit? Yeah, right.
Well, maybe it costs a lot of money to get Dave Matthews in there.
I mean, he gets the tickets. He didn't get beer sales.
No?
He gets
You
the
don't think
tickets.
so?
I think he gets the tickets, unless he's a really good negotiator.
Well, then how do they have to pay for all the expenses associated with putting the concert on?
They're all volunteers.
See, I'm pushing back here. There's
I know. I'm telling you, there's something shady going on at the pavilion. I'm sitting there walking around going, how are they getting away with this? Because everyone that works the concessions, everyone that works the front, the booths, and I think security is the only paid position there. Everyone else is volunteer.
No, I think the servers.
No, it's I'm telling you, it's volunteer because
100% on that.
100%, because I asked.
Okay.
I
All right.
asked.
So if you have one of the seats down front, where
You're paid $500 or whatever
whatever
for
it is, and the server comes to bring you
volunteer.
whatever, 100%. You're absolutely certain.
I'm sure those dudes are volunteers.
Okay. All right. I'm not 100% there. I think they get paid something.
Well, I think what it is the volunteers an organization, and they give you they donate money to that organization.
Okay.
So, for example, like when I went up to one of the booths, it said this booth is sponsored by the Oak Ridge Booster Club. So it's probably the Booster Club volunteers their time, and then they get a percentage of whatever.
Could be.
Could be. I mean, I'm not saying I'm just saying something's going on there, and it's really weird. There's a lot of cash. There's no cash there. They don't accept cash. So
That's true.
That even weirded me out even more.
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, you go to an Astros game, they don't take cash either.
Yeah, it weirds me out.
Why?
Because there's something they know something I don't. Because I have cash. I literally when I went to Dave Matthews, I brought cash only. Because when I bring cash, it limits how much I spend.
You still carry cash?
Yeah. You gotta pay off people sometimes. You gotta tip.
So there.
I got tip. You don't tip with cash. You know what that means if you don't tip with cash? That means the owner takes it, and then they divvy it up.
No.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Depends on you. Got to ask.
I do ask.
So I'm just letting you know.
Yes, I agree.
I'd rather tip cash because you don't have to claim it. That saves them a couple bucks.
Okay.
Because I think of the people.
Okay.
Unlike you.
All right. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I carry cash when because that's the way. Because especially going to see Dave Matthews, I'm like, I can't spend a lot of money there because it's going to be expensive. Right. So I bring this is my budget.
Yeah, you got a budget,
and then,
which is good.
But
that's good.
They didn't.
But
they didn't take nowhere.
Well, right. No, they don't.
Nowhere.
Don't, yeah.
Even the guys carrying the giant cans of beer, you would think they would take cash.
No cash there.
No cash. I was
totally
like,
cashless.
this is crazy.
Yeah. Even you buy a T-shirt or something. Yeah, no cash. Right. But it's the way it is. I think most places now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to move to a town that doesn't have that.
Good luck. I don't know where that would be.
Small town, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a town that doesn't have internet.
Where is that?
I mean,
there are towers everywhere.
Yeah, even my brother out in Holdezetta has internet now, which amazes me.
Yeah.
But so it's going everywhere now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember one time I was interviewing a lady who was running for a position over in what county was it? It might have been Walker County or Waller
Well, that's
County.
right next door.
Well, I know, but it was near
more
here.
rural.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I was like, so what's the biggest thing you're putting on your ticket? She's like, I want to increase our broadband connection. And I was like, how can people not vote for that? And that's a great issue too, because it's not like a partisan issue.
No, we all need it.
It's like,
we all need it.
It's not a bathroom thing. That's good. We're not talking about bathrooms.
Right. Hopefully,
because those are always fun discussions, right? Let's
bathrooms.
Let's talk about the bathrooms real quick, guys.
Okay. So when you think of when you said bathrooms, the first thing I thought of was Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Cleanest bathrooms, most bathrooms. That place is amazing.
It's kind of strange that that's like their foundation of success.
I think it's just a byproduct.
No, I think that's like their first thing they put on their ticket, like when they're doing their, mission board or whatever you call it. The
cleanest bathrooms.
It's like, what's
ever.
the first thing we want to do every day? Well, we want to make sure we have the cleanest bathrooms.
Well, I mean, when you're on the road and you got to make a stop, it is nice to have a bathroom that's been attended to.
Yeah,
right?
I guess. I mean,
again, I guess I'm a germaphobe, but
yeah, you are. Like,
but when you walk into Buc-ee's, there is no place like it. You have to admit that.
I've been to stores like that. Like,
you have not been to another store like Buc-ee's, with 100 and some gas pumps. You can get a
gas
cooler,
pump thing. Yeah,
you can get a watch. You can get a wedding band, and
I went to a gas station that had a washateria in it.
Okay, but that's that.
So that was cool.
So that means you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, I've always wondered why. I was like, this is kind of odd.
How
but
long does it take to pump your gas?
I don't know, man. Well, it's more of a truck stop, but I was really impressed that there's a whole washateria because I go in the restroom and it was so hot in there. And I was like, I was like, wanted to say something to one of the clerks. I was like, it is like the heat's on. And then when I walk out and I look around,
in Texas, that's a problem.
And I walk around and I saw, it's backed up to the washateria. The bathroom is so probably all the dryers are like on the other side of the wall, just heating it up.
They got to figure that out.
Well, But yeah, Buc-ee's is all right, I guess. I don't know.
All right, come on.
It's all right.
Really?
Well, what surprises me every time I go to Buc-ee's is they sell items that are so large, because they'll sell grills and stuff, and I
Yeah,
go
right outside.
and I was like, I wonder how many people come to pump gas
And oh, by the way,
and go, I need to buy a grill.
Yeah. And I'm going to get the latest Buc-ee's T-shirt.
Yeah, it's really weird to me, but whatever.
And I'm going to get some candles and beef jerky and.
Well, I mean, Buc-ee's
72-ounce
has
pop.
helped me a lot. I bought flip flops from there
See?
because I needed like we were going somewhere, and I was like, "Ooh, it's hot. I'm not gonna wear sneakers everywhere we go. I'll wear flip flops."
Yeah.
So, I've actually bought the same pair twice
At Buc-ee's?
at Buc-ee's.
And you're giving me
Probably
a
at
hard
the
time
same
about
Buc-ee's too, because of the same scenario I was in. Like I forgot flip flops. I'm like,
Every time we go up to Fort Worth, we stop at Madisonville at Buc-ee's.
"What do you get?
Doesn't matter. Just stop at Buc-ee's.
Do you tip them?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
But
They clean the bathrooms, dude.
Wow, you caught me on that one. But if there was a little tip option,
You're gonna when you leave here, you're gonna be like the guy from Dumb and Dumber, where you're like, one for you, one for you, one for you. That's how you're gonna be, and you're gonna see the whole world like everyone's got to be tipped. Because there's a standard. There's got to be a standard.
I know, but
and there's not. So it's chaos. So when there's chaos, you can do whatever you want.
You set your own standard.
Yeah,
That's
my
the
own
beauty of
standard.
it.
My own standard is do whatever I want. So
And you can.
yeah, and I look at the guy. I'm like, I'm not giving you any money.
And he's looking at you thinking,
What
what?
a dick.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, man. You know, give me an extra $1 for that $4 beer.
No, he just opened it up. I'm not tipping more than $1. I'll die on that hill.
$1.
I will die on that hill.
All right. All right.
Like he just goes, "Tsk, there you go.
Someday I'm going to see you and I'm going to ask you.
And I'm going to serve you a beer. And you're going to be like, here's $1. I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of money for just opening up a bottle.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the $1 because that's more than enough.
Actually, what I'll say is, do you have Venmo?
And then I'd be like, you're not getting tipped.
PayPal?
Yeah. Sorry, bud. I want listeners to let me know. $1 to me, now you're making me think it's like that's more than enough for opening a bottle of beer.
It's more than just opening the bottle of beer, though.
But it's more than enough for a tip.
Broaden your
Like again,
broaden your horizon.
if you made like a whiskey sour or something,
Yeah.
and like crushed everything, and
then it's probably
then
$6.
I'll probably tip a little more.
How much more?
Okay, for example, go to 202 Main, right down the street.
Yeah.
They have wonderful cocktails.
Yep.
They're one of those places that has like all their own bitters and crap.
Good stuff.
And I'm not one of those kind of drinkers. So when I do order that, I usually tip $5. So I'm already spending $20.
There you go.
There you go. But if I order a beer from them, I'm giving them $1.
$1. So when you walk in and they're like, "Is he going to order a beer or is he going to order?"
I always order a beer there. I rarely order a.
Because you don't want to tip $5.
No, because I don't want to. I don't like that feeling of drinking liquor out in public. I'd rather not drink. I'd rather drink beer in public.
Okay. Why is that?
Because liquor gets you quicker.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, but those drinks are strong.
Then just have
And they're so
a
good.
little one.
They're so good. And you're like, I want another one. I want another one.
Okay, that's a different conversation.
They're so good there.
I've heard.
Like the little treats.
Yeah.
It's a little treat.
You can have that with your Copenhagen. That's
Oh,
another
yeah.
treat for you.
No, Copenhagen Public's weird.
You said you take it as it's a treat.
Yeah, but that's after dinner. Like I'm outside. Like
What if you go out to eat?
I wait till I get home. I'm like,
Okay. All right.
well, it's like that stigma. You know, it's like, oh, God, spitting.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
You dirty smoker.
Well, yeah.
I sound like I'm a smoker right now.
No, you don't.
I don't. I sound good.
No.
I feel congested. I've been smoking a lot of cigars.
You smoke cigars?
Yeah.
And you...
Yeah. Hey, when I'm relaxing, I'm relaxing.
Okay.
All right. It's a roller coaster ride. I'm buckled in. It's a short ride, but enjoy it while it goes.
All right. But then don't ask, why am I feeling congested? Or, there's probably some reasons for that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I think you gave me something out of that. No. I doubt it's the dip. It might be the cigars.
All right. Wish I would have known that an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
I would have given you a hard time about that, too.
But I've been smoking cigars for so long. It's like, wow, all of a sudden, it's a combo. Maybe my body's like, you're failing. And
No. There's still time.
Still time?
You're young.
You haven't hit it yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
I hope not.
Well, you're drinking green drinks. That's right.
Well, the little Magic Mind.
Is that what's in there?
No, it's coffee.
Okay. Sure.
This would be a lot of Magic Mind. Magic Mind is just a little 2-ounce potent.
So does that mean it's bad for you if you drink too much?
I would imagine that it would not be good for your stomach. But I've never tried. I'm not going to. I follow most directions.
Because I want to say I heard somebody drinking something like that, but it had like kratom in it.
Yeah.
And it like, he's suing them because it didn't tell him how much kratom was in it. But it does say on the bottle, only drink half a bottle per day.
Okay.
But he was drinking like 10 bottles a day.
So that would be a problem.
Read
the label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, because that's what I always wondered. With doctors especially, where it's just like you got at one point look at people like you're an idiot. Like, did you really stick that up there? You're an idiot. Or did you really drink 10 of those? Where on the ball it says drink half of that.
Yeah.
Are you an idiot?
Have you ever made an honest mistake though, like that? Something similar, where you?
I did. A guy stole $100 from me.
Well.
Now I was like very embarrassed for that because I was like, I just got bamboozled, and like I was.
How do you think he did it?
Oh,
Did he
if
say,
you watch,
look at that over there. And then
no, I think what he did was if you watch the video, he's so good at pointing at stuff. Like he was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. My sister, I got 5 people coming in, and he's like, oh yeah, but let me see this. Okay, yeah, and then like, oh, what about this? What about this deal? And he's like, okay, let me see that and that, and like we exchanged probably 6 or 7 times because he kept changing what he wanted.
Wow.
And the next thing I know, like you could see him, like on the video, you see him while he's talking to me, and when he pointed here, so I looked at it, he took the 100 and put it in his pocket, but kept the other 100 right here to make it look like because he knew.
Wow.
And it was weird. It was like a magic trick, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I was like, all right, now I know what to do next time.
So did you call the police or do anything?
No. There's nothing you can do about that. What do you want to?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Because he had the mask on.
Yeah, covering his entire face.
Yeah.
Practically. Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he was doing, but it felt like I was on the streets of New Orleans.
Well, if he comes in again, you'll know.
Yeah. Well, if he asked for $100, I'm like, no, I don't do change for $100.
If guy comes in, he's got the scarf around his face, you'll know.
I don't judge people like that based off looks.
I'm not saying that but you'll have an idea.
Based off looks, I don't judge people like that.
Okay.
The rule of thumb is you don't make change unless they're buying a product.
Oh.
So I'd be like, oh, I can make that change if you're buying something.
Or don't take cash.
What's your deal against cash, man?
Nothing. I'm just saying. It's a kind of.
Cash is king.
I would agree.
Yeah. I love the bowling alley because it takes cash.
Really?
Because I would love to own a bowling alley. It'd be awesome.
Okay. We'll go own a bowling alley.
I am. I'm gonna have so much cash, and you're gonna have none. I mean, well, no, because I'm friends with the owner there, and we always talk about that because it's like, how do you, like, and he even told me a funny story about the IRS.
Yeah.
About how he does his cash. And he goes, I think the IRS is going to get rid of cash because they're restricting it so much what he can do with it.
Yeah.
And because he's talking about expenses, because a lot of times, like if they need tomatoes or something, they'll expense it out and give cash to the runner, and they'll go to HEB and buy tomatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently you can't do that now. Even if you have the receipt, even if you, you have to use a credit card or a check.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I still think he misunderstood the IRS, but
yeah,
because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. You're already paying taxes on it. Like it's not like you're not
reporting.
It's not like when you expense, you're not reporting it. You're reporting that it's an expense. So you're taking cash and
check and cash are Very similar.
Yeah, so I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But he goes, yeah, I think they're just trying to get rid of people allowing to use cash for certain aspects of their business. Like it's for deposit only. Like you can't pay the repairman cash, stuff like that, or expense it like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm not opposed to cash. Although when you pay with cash, it's, harder to track.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
But it's for your own personal budget and okay. You have your own budget, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I like having cash because like I know exactly how much it is. That's my limit.
And when you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you only tip $1.
Yeah.
Because if you tip more, you won't have money for the extra beer that you want.
Yeah, but I already know how many beers I'm drinking.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you, when you go in, you just say, yourself, I'm going to have just 2 beers.
It depends on where we go. I know how to make my money last. Like if I'm going 2 or 2, like I'm only having 2 drinks here. I'm not.
Okay. Because you know that.
Yeah, because Keith is stealing from everyone here. He's charging so much money. But it's still a great place.
All right.
I give all the new businesses downtown. Conrad's like, yeah, you charge way too much.
The new coffee, been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good.
I can't pronounce the name. And I told Son that. I was like, I'm never going to be able to pronounce this. And so I'm going to call it Vietnamese Coffee Shop.
Well, that's why I said the new coffee, because
I don't know. It's like Nong Kam Bong. Nong Kam Bong Bong. And every time I try to say it, I sound racist. So it's like, you know what? I'm not going to try it. Just call it the Vietnamese coffee place.
Yeah.
And I've eaten there. I've eaten most of their food there now.
Oh, really?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really expensive, though. I'm just kidding. No, it's great coffee over there. And,
yeah, it was very good.
That was the Americano. That was just the base.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
They do other fancier things.
Yeah, it was good what we had.
But I just like coffee. I like black coffee, so. And a good dip.
Yep. At the same time?
At just all the time.
Ooh.
No, I was kidding. Just want to mess with you. Well, Jeff, I did let the audience know that your information is located below for the Game Changer podcast, and you're also a consultant.
Yes, sir.
So if you own a business, you just call Jeff and be like, yo, dude,
absolutely,
make me more money.
I can come out and have a conversation. We'll figure out what's working, what's not working, and how I can help you.
What do you think the biggest challenge going forward for new businesses is?
Well, I think the economy, not knowing the uncertainty. We've had so many changes in our economy with the inflation high. Now it's coming down.
Is it all made up?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Is there really like a set of dominoes being hit, and it's kind of like it's going its course?
Nope. There are things that have happened that create the inflation, and
like COVID probably really.
COVID messed everything up.
Yeah.
And
looking back, that was kind of stupid.
What? COVID or
just how we handled it?
But
we should just.
I would agree.
Cull the herd. That's what you need to do.
Well, I think the fact that we were able to here in Montgomery County to actually go back to work
within like a matter of a month,
made a huge difference compared to other parts of the country, and I think that did hurt business, and it changed business for permanently
or internationally. It's still
absolutely
affecting because I have a lot of friends who work in oil and stuff, and like at the port.
Yeah,
and he's like, it's crazy because like certain countries still have rules.
Yeah.
So if our boat is going there, it's like
right. I was in San Francisco a couple weeks ago. People are still masked up. A lot of people are wearing masks, and
probably bamboozling people.
Maybe, But today, if you see somebody with a mask on, what's your first thought?
They're sick?
There's something wrong, or they're concerned about something, or maybe they have a loved one who's sick and they don't want to bring something back. So I think COVID changed everything for us, and probably made it more cautious, which is good, but it also, I think, messed with our heads.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But as a business owner...
But is that something you recover from? Because when I think of the economy and think of business, it's like, I feel like a lot of stuff is reactionary for small business. Like usually small businesses are like that's their first thing is they react to everything.
Yeah.
They don't preempt. Like, but then I feel like bigger businesses take advantage of these scenarios, and it's just it's no brainer.
There's a lot of businesses that made lots of money during COVID. Took advantage of the fact that there was a need. Personal protection items. There were companies out there that changed what they were manufacturing and made what we needed. Made a lot of money doing it. And then there were smaller businesses that just couldn't do it.
Well, they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, right.
I would say stuff it. Someone told me.
How many restaurants closed during COVID?
Yeah, restaurants, they're all right. They're a dime a dozen.
Yep.
That's what I like about food trucks, because you can get away from the cops.
Food truck?
Yeah, if you had a food truck, you'd be like, hey, we're open here for the day, but we're going to be somewhere else. No one knows.
Unless there's a food truck park, which, are there food truck parks near you? Or
yeah, there's one right down the street, Table at Medley.
Yeah, there's so many, some of the best food.
That's social distancing right there.
Some of the best food comes from a food truck. Good stuff. I mean,
some of the best food comes from people that know how to cook. So if you go to a restaurant and it sucks, it's probably because the cook sucks.
Right. Good point.
So, I mean, there's a reason why there's bad food and good food.
Right. Yeah. Right. So as a business, I think, just the uncertainty, and how you talk about cash, we treat cash very differently now. Having enough cash on hand is so important. Because if the government says, okay, you can't open your doors, you can't go to work.
Tell them to stuff it.
You have to have enough cash on hand. If no revenue's coming in,
see, what happens is the paranoia in my mind happens. And if you get rid of cash, what's going to end up happening is we have another COVID, and the government's going to be like, hey, you can't be open. Oh, we saw some transactions. You're open. We're going to close you. We're going to take your bank account.
But if it's cash, they'll never know.
We'll never know.
True.
Unless they send somebody, and they're never going to do that. They might, but that person might not live. They try to close my business.
Wow, I didn't know you were violent.
Well, I mean, hey, if it's your business, it's your business. You
got to protect it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And that's probably why they wanted to arm all those IRS agents. They ran into so much trouble trying to.
I was just going to say they just hired 80 or hire 80.
They probably ran into so many people like, you're not closing me.
I wonder, how did they come up with that number? Like, why 87?
I bet they probably had some.
What? Just round it up. We're going to hire 100,000.
Well, then they probably had a study, and it basically said, like, this is how much work we have ahead of us, and this is how long it's going to take us to do it. So for us to decrease that number, the length, we're going to need 80 to 100,000. Well, what's the lowest number, or that doesn't cost as much? 80,000. We can try to do it 8,000. Realistically, they probably should have gone with 100,000. But the government always asks, what's the cheapest? What's the cheapest one? What's the cheapest way? That people don't yell at us. People don't yell at us for. We're still going to spend money.
Yeah, I don't know. That just made no sense to me whatsoever.
What's even crazier about this, and I could be completely wrong, is with technology improving every aspect of life, you would think the technology in the IRS would improve so much that the automation part of it for the general public is taken care of. You don't need 80,000 because I work a job that has a W-2, and all I have to do is go on the IRS.com, type it in. You already know everything already.
Right.
And I just go send.
Right.
And I feel like that's such a high percentage of people in this country.
Can you even mail in your tax returns?
I have no idea. I just do it online.
Electronically.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I'm sure they would accept it through the
But you also have
mail,
but you don't need an agent, a human being looking at every single one, because everyone they know how many people are just doing W-2s.
Right.
And then there's going to be a certain amount of people who do assets and do all that kind of stuff. But it's almost streamlined in a way. Unless you're doing something new. Because I remember when I first got married, that was new.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to mess this up because it's new. And that's what happens when you're trying to do something right. And okay. But we never messed it up. But I'm talking about there's some honest mistakes people make when they're filling out their taxes.
Yeah.
But then there's also
going up the learning curve.
Yes.
Yep.
And like my favorite one is the people who claim their driving miles still. Like it's almost like a pain in the butt. And you're like, do I really want to do this because I have to defend this if they refute it? And
yeah. You don't log your miles?
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's one of those things. Like, is it worth it? Because if they do refute it, you gotta go through this whole thing.
Right.
And you're like, okay. But I feel like though, like what I was trying to say is, it's streamlined so much, hopefully, that you don't really need that many people.
I think most of us would agree, and that begs the question: why 80-some thousand?
There's probably all those people getting tipped. They're going after those people. They're not claiming it.
Yeah, they're not claiming it, but they're getting tips in cash.
Yeah. What a world. But Jeff, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, it's been great.
We got other shows coming up here on Lone Star. If you want to be a guest on Mornings Lone Star, feel free to reach out. This one was a very special episode, so it went pretty long.
Yeah,
and I really want to encourage people to check out Game Changers Podcast and then Understandable Solutions for Business Consulting. We'll be back next week. We got some people coming in. I think I got the Montgomery County Hospital District coming in. We're going to talk about ambulances and how they rip you off. And then I'm just going to down. They save lives. They save lives. They're great. Yeah. And but yeah, we'll be seeing you guys next week.
We have the safest food supply